Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, Tone Fernandez here on our social media lead generation group, guys. And today, guys, actually going to be a really good live because one of the main things I know many of you guys who are on this group, one of the main objectives that you have on social media is recruiting. Recruiting is a big part of business. It's it's actually the biggest part of any business that you'll find is recruiting. Whether you're in an affiliate marketing, direct sales, multi-level marketing, network marketing, or you run a traditional business, recruiting talent to your business is very, very important. Just for the lifeblood of your business, the longevity of it. But a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people struggle where to find recruits. Myself and my significant other, Veronica Cruz, have been successful at recruiting people all over the country. And what I did today, guys, is I put together just a quick list of places where you can find prospects and recruits for your business. Now, before I get into those 5 tips, let's talk about why recruiting is important versus people who don't recruit. It's not really necessarily one's better than the other, but one produces different results than the other, and one um, excuse me, make sure my microphone is not disconnected. One is not better than the other, but one produces different results, and one may cater to you more. Now, for those of you out there, I know many of you guys started a business. The main purpose was time freedom. The main purpose was I want to make a lot of money so that I can control my time. I can either go to my kids' soccer games or baseball games. I can pick them up, drop them off. To have that time freedom. Unfortunately, for most who make the transition from job to small business or business owner, they find that they're working more because what ends up happening is you go from being an employee where you had your duties and you have your specific agenda, you work your hours and then you go home, to now you're the business owner where you do everything. And if you leave when things get done, not when you're off the clock. So the answer to that many people find is leverage. So let's break down leverage. Many of you guys are already familiar if you are in some type of business that involves recruiting. But leverage is the ability to recruit in your industry to where you make override. So override is basically the spread of your team members in your organization selling a product or service and you making the difference. Now, if done properly, you can have an extensive amount of recruits in your business where even if they all produce very little, you're still making a good amount of money. Imagine if one of the great mentors of our time says, would you rather make 100% of your own efforts or 1% of 1,000 people's efforts? And the smarter person would choose 1% of 1,000 people, because even though the 1,000 people in your organization are doing 1%, that's still way more than what you would do at 100%. So recruiting is a lifeblood of a few things, of having longevity, but also creating exponential growth. One person alone can produce only so much. There's only so many hours in a day. But if I clone myself, so to speak, I duplicate myself. Now I have, more hours in a day than a typical person would. So recruiting is important, and there's many ways. There's offline recruiting. Offline recruiting is simply just going to events, meeting people, prospecting as you go. Those things work. But what we're seeing now is social media is becoming the powerhouse for recruiting, especially now that we have the pandemic. Businesses are locked up, can't go to many public places. So Facebook, LinkedIn, all these places are important strategic places to recruit. So today, guys, I want to go into 5 places where if you add these to your daily agenda every day, you're going to have results. Just the past 2 days, last week we got a new business partner out in Milwaukee, a guy I met on a Facebook group. This week I'm actually already closing on a few. I got a guy out in Phoenix that is actually going to become a business partner of mine in our business. And I'm working on some more. And I started to put together this list in order for you guys to identify what to do. So you have to do the first thing you have to do is understand that there's no home runs. There's no post. There's no one message. There's not one, thing you can do. Those type of recruiting people that, can put a post up and recruit 1,000 people, it's because they have already built huge audiences and influence. So if you don't have a huge audience or huge influence, one post is not going to cut it. So don't look for the shortcut. So I say this when I teach you guys the lead generation stuff. The content is stop relying on like one thing to take you to the promised land. It's a consistent amount of actions done daily. So these five things that I'm gonna help you with, here's how I execute them. I take 1 hour a day and I write it on my schedule from, let's say, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. I'm using this strategy. From 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., this strategy. And I have a list of things that I do throughout the day. Each of them give me little sprinkles of results that by the end of the day, I'm talking to 5 or 10 prospects out of and I'm weeding people out. Oh, this guy's not, serious. And by the end of the day, I have one or two good candidates that want to come on board. So I'm going to share with you guys the simple places, but I'm also going to give you guys some tactics that you guys can do. So, to start it off, number one is what we're on now, Facebook groups. Facebook groups are where you can have more, direct conversations with people regarding a topic. Now, I'm involved in several different Facebook groups. I'm involved in, groups about Chicago architecture. I'm in groups about sports. I'm in groups about, I used to be an Uber driver, about that. I'm in social media groups like this. So when you go to groups, what you got to do is there's two things you can do. Number one, it's the process and the acronym that I shared with you guys, where you basically you message somebody, you message somebody on a group, you comment, you message, you tag somebody on a group, on a post. So when you're in these groups, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're actively engaging. So when I go into a group, I survey the recent activity and I comment my opinion on it. Now these are groups that I already have an opinion on, so it's easy to kind of chat, of involving these topics. So the first thing you want to do is comment, tag somebody. You want to like the post. You want to engage. The second thing you want to do is when you engage, you want to make sure that if they respond, that you create dialogue with that person. So, for example, if I'm on a group about Chicago architecture, I comment on something that somebody said, and then, once they comment back, I continue the dialogue. If the dialogue is great, then I move on to the next thing where I add them as a personal friend. So we're not personal friends yet because, we're just in a general group. So once we're in that, once we add as personal friends, the last thing I do is I message them. So I called it clam. I comment on people's posts, I like it, and then when we engage, I add them as a friend and then I message them. My message is not even a pitch. It's just, hey, how are things going? Appreciate the ad. Looking forward to chatting with you. Now, the next part is when do you offer your business opportunity? So it really depends on your conversation. And I'll teach you more about conversations, but at the very least, you want to start, clamming those people, so to speak. Comment, like, add, and message them from the groups. The other way is create your own groups. So it's called ATM. Let's say that you have a lot of Facebook friends, and let's say that you put a post up or you're chatting with them, and all of a sudden they show interest in what you do or they show interest in more information. You want to ATM them. So create your own group with information regarding your product or service. So the A stands for you add them to the group. Now, of course, make sure that they agree to be added to that group. Once they're added to that group, make sure that you have a video or videos or information that is an announcement on that group that you own that you can tag them on. So how it would look is, let's say you and I are chatting and you say, yeah, I like what you posted about, health and wellness. And let's say that I have a health and wellness group and I say, well, hey, if you want more information, I can add you to our private group. Boom. So that's the A, add them to the group with their permission. Then once I add them and they're accepted, I tag them on a video. Hey, watch this first. So I tag them, hey, watch this first. And then once, I tag them, I let them know that I'll follow up with them. I just message and follow up. So what you got to make sure that you do is you do all three steps. You add them to the group with their permission, and you have to be their friend personally to add them to a group. Then you tag them on a video or on a presentation, and then you follow up. Now, don't stop at, don't just tag them on a video and never follow up with them because you're going to drop the ball. Make sure that you message them the follow up. Hey, did you watch the info? Hey, what did you think about the video I sent you? That's where you're going to close more people is in the follow-up. So the two ways to use a Facebook group are clam, comment, like. You add people as friends from groups that you're in, and you message them. Hey, how are things? Hey, nice meeting you. Then there's creating your own group, and you ATM people. Create your own group. Put some videos at the as the announcement, meaning they show up pinned at the top of the group. And then when you add people, hey, watch this video. And then the only other thing, once you tag them on that video, you follow up with them. The only thing I will say is, once you create your own group, make sure that the people in your group are are putting testimonials about your product, service, or them making money, because then that adds to the culture. So if you tag me on a group and I see, wow, this is, I watched the video, but I'm still in the group, then I'm gonna see people talking about, man, I lost this much weight, or I made this much money with this business opportunity, or whatever it is. Make sure that the audience on that group is engaging and talking about that. They're not talking about anything else, but they're just talking about the product, how the product helped them, how the service helped them. They're talking about things like that. So that's the first place is Facebook group. I hope those two methods helped you, because honestly, I get a lot of recruits from Facebook groups. Hold on one second, guys. Make sure that my audio is working. Okay, cool. My audio is working. All right, so method number two, the comment section. I have a lot of friends who are network marketers, who sell something, who are like positive motivational speakers, who all types of stuff. Guess what they do? They will attract similar people to them. So I don't just comment on, when I'm going through and by the way, I'm talking about your regular news feed, just your, not the groups. We're out of groups already. Just your regular news feed. When you're scrolling through and you see a buddy who has a positive post, business post, something that that a good amount of good type of people are going to comment, get in that comment section and start start dialogue with people. When you start dialogue with people, some of those people are going to be third party friends. They're going to be mutual friends of the person that you're commenting on. What happens is it creates synergy, and then you can start adding those people as friends. And what ends up happening is those are people that you can recruit into your business, because you already know from their comment, what they post in the comment section, that they have the right mindset. So number two is the comment section. Number three is your friends list. Ask yourself this: have I thoroughly went through my friends list on Facebook? Whether you have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 friends, have I given a time slot of an hour to 2 hours? Have I created a nice script that I can send people? And just to either, depending, and I would create three scripts. I call these my cold, warm, and hot scripts. Cold scripts, usually I don't prospect right away. I just say, hey, just we haven't spoken in a while. How are you? I start dialogue, right? Why? Because that's going to lead them to becoming warm and then hot. So my cold people that I haven't talked to in a long time, just say hi, how are things? Start basic convo. The second is your warm market. The warm marketer you touch base with every now and then. Create a script. Hey man, I thought about you because I'm working with this company. And you can even do an indirect approach. Hey, by the way, who do you know that may be interested in this challenge, or in learning more about this, or making additional income? I always, use that. Who do you know that's interested in making additional income? Why? Because it's not awkward if I prospect through them, but they may show interest and raise their hand and say, "Well, actually, I'm a little bit interested myself." Those are your warm people. And your hot people, those are people that you talk to all the time. Just be straight up, be straightforward. Hey, listen, I'm working on this project. I want your opinion, and I want to know if you're interested in learning more about this. Just be straight up with your hot people, because those are the people like your brother, sister, your friends, your close friends on Facebook you talk to all the time. They know you very well, so they know when you're being phony. So just approach them directly. So that's number three, was your friends list. Number four, engagement. Sometimes I put a post up and I get a like from somebody, or I get a comment that I haven't spoke to in a long time. That's like an icebreaker. Think about that. They just walked in your living room. You're like, oh, hey, you put a post up, somebody likes it, comments it. So start looking when people like your comments. Um, look through the notifications. Oh wow, I had 17 likes, and then I look through them. Okay, that's my friend I talked to yesterday, and then I look for somebody that I haven't even talked to in a while, and then I message them. bro, thanks for liking my post, man. What did you like about it? Because if it's something about business or positivity, then I can segue into, hey, by the way, I'm working on this awesome project. If that's how you think, man, you would love this. So that's number four is engagement. People who like, or hit the heart, all that stuff. People who comment, people who share it, message them because that's a great icebreaker. They already show that they're liking your stuff. And then number five is add new friends. So you want to make sure that your day consists of adding a certain amount of friends. This last week, I was adding people on LinkedIn. I'm up to almost 9,000 friends on LinkedIn because I have a higher limit of people I can add there, and I've been adding people based off a search. So I'll find people who work in a certain industry. I'll find people who I know that right now during the pandemic that they're not working because those type of places are closed, and I'll just add people like that. And I always add people and say hi, add and say hi. That's the minimum you can do there because once you add somebody, you say hi, they're gonna do what? Look at your profile. And if you're using the right content marketing strategies that I've been teaching you, then they're going to start becoming curious. And they're going to do two things. They're going to message you back, "Hey, I like that video you did. I like that post." They're going to comment on either your video or your post that you had, or they might opt into something that you're offering. So if you use the right strategies that I teach you on the 10 days of leads, then what ends up happening is all your new friends that you say hi to are going to see that stuff and the right people are going to respond. So those are five places where you can get recruits for your business. And on Facebook groups, I told you the two strategies, Clam and ATM. Comment section on your friends' comments, your friends list, maximize it. Spend an hour and start creating your scripts and go through everybody. Your engagement, when people like your post, share it, comment, that's your icebreaker to say hi to them and say, hey, thanks for liking my post. And then you want to add new friends. You want to add new friends, say hi, and make sure that your content is good. Now, tonight at 9, I believe it's 8 p.m., we're going to be hosting a webinar. We have a guest of a girl who recruited over 700 people on Facebook with the verbiage. So I showed you where to go. She's going to show you the verbiage to use. She's actually I forget what company she's with, but she's a rock star in the industry. And one of the things that I recommend is start paying attention to industry leaders industry wide because you're going to learn different things from different leaders. And that's one of the things I do. I'm a part of a community where all the leaders from all different companies come together to share tactics. I thought that was an amazing idea because I'm like, wow, instead of me having to go find all these people on Facebook or on YouTube myself, there's a community of people and a network of people that I'm attached to that they'll go on live and they'll invite us. So I have the special invite for you guys. It's a link to the private webinar tonight, 8 p.m., where you can actually learn how she recruited 700 people without being weird, without being sleazy, without all that stuff. Using Facebook, some of the stuff that I showed you, but what is her verbiage like? Why is she attracting so many people? So I'm going to be on that webinar tonight. I have the private link. If you're open to jumping on, you want to learn some more, feel free to comment below, and then I'll go ahead and shoot you that. Once this video is actually produced and I'm done, I'll see if I can edit it and add the link as well. As always, your success is important to me, guys. I'll see you guys out there on the field. Have a great Wednesday. Happy Wealth Wednesday.